There's a guy that wants to finish a story. There's a tribal chief. In case they might need someone to run in at the finish. I mean, like, what are you doing WrestleMania night 2 that night? Like, are you in town? You around?
Is it night 2?
Yeah, night 2,
oh, man. So I got to clear my schedule, man.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Muscle Memory. My name's Malcolm. Today I'm joined by Lance Anao'i. How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just living the dream. What can we complain about?
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. When I first started doing this channel, I first started doing wrestling interviews. You were the first ever guy. The first ever guy. And I greatly appreciate it because anything I have going on with this channel is all because of you, honestly. I greatly do appreciate it, but there's a lot going on in wrestling, man. You have a show tonight. Yep. You're in a tag team match. Tell us about that.
So I'm wrestling tonight for my Uncle Alpha's junior promotion in Broadheadsville, Pennsylvania. Me and one of his students are teaming up against South Philly's finest. I went one-on-one with them last month, and they got a little – basically it was 2-on-1, and my boy Terry came in, so we're going to even things up tonight and turn things around.
There it is, man. We're not that far from Philadelphia. There's a lot going on in Philadelphia this year. I mean, what can I say? I know you have a few matches for Battleground Championship Wrestling against Rich Swann. I believe there's another match as well, correct?
Yep. We got Rich Swann, and then later on at the ECW arena, or 2300 arena, they're doing the ECW reunion. Me and my father are teaming up as a small gangster party. Nice. Back in the day, it used to be my dad and my uncle, Matty Smalls, against FBI, man. It's going to be a hell of it, man, and especially to see my dad back in the ring, man. I don't remember the last time he was in the ring, but I already told him I'll do all the work.
It's amazing, man. There's also a big match coming up right around that same weekend. There's a guy that wants to finish a story. There's a tribal chief. In case they might need someone to run in at the finish. I mean, like, what are you doing WrestleMania night 2 that night? Like, are you in town? You around?
Is it night 2?
Yeah,
night 2, man. So I got to clear my schedule, man, just to be able to watch it. But now, man, I'll tell you one thing. No story is getting finished here.
No story?
No story finished.
Ooh, that's pretty interesting. Is there a reason why you don't want a story to finish? Like, would you prefer to throw up a 1 instead of see the neck tattoo get the win?
Always throw the 1 up.
Always
man.
Throw the 1 up.
We represent Roman Reigns, man. He's at the top. He's been at the top for a very long time. I don't even know how many days we're on it. 1,400, whatever it is. But, man, just saying the 1,400, 1,300, anything in the thousands, man, that's greatness. And just like he is, he's God mode, man, right now in the WWE. And I respect everything he's done, my whole family, even Jimmy and Jay, man, the whole bloodline is tearing it up. And Solo, man, who knows, man? You got myself, Juicy, man, part of the family. You got Zilla, man. You got Jacob, man. We're all free, man.
Ooh, it's interesting, man.
So, you just never know what could pop up.
I would love to see all you guys over there very soon. Oh, you mentioned your father's going to be wrestling again. Headstringer Samu.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be crazy. Like I heard you say that, I jumped to the next question. I meant to come back and just talk about that for a moment because that's huge. Is this the first time he's wrestled in how many years?
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't remember, man. It's probably been because my dad had a liver transplant a few years ago. I want to say 5-6 years ago maybe. And so it's been about that long since he wrestled. And just to be able to pull him out because the promoter actually asked for Juicy. And I said, man, how about we try to get my dad for one more match? And then, man, my dad agreed, man. I'm stoked. I'm ready. And I can't wait. We're going to tear it up at the 2300 arena.
Can he still drop the Samoan drop? Still hit the move?
Oh, man, I'm trying to get a drop kick out of him. So, But, yeah, man, anything, man. I told him to be ready, man, because just never know what could happen. I said, maybe you'll see us all up on stage at night 1 or night 2. Who knows?
Ooh, I'm excited to see that, man. What's it like growing up a third generation in pro wrestling? I'm sure you ask this all the time, but it's so interesting as like a fan just thinking about it. It's like there's so many generations in your family before you wrestling, and now you became a wrestler. Like, what's it like having like so many very, very famous people within your family?
Man, being a third generation wrestler is crazy. Like I even said it, man, like on Twitter, man. Like how big my family is. There's only 2 third-generation wrestlers in our entire family, and it's me and The Rock. Yep. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like, I didn't even think about that till, like, recently. And I was like, wow, man, because, we have Umaga, Rikishi, my dad, my uncles, Manu, my grandfather, the Wild Swamp. Man, just the list goes on. Man, look at this shirt, man. Yokozuna, man. Man, but just growing up and just trying to follow those footsteps. To me, it's, me and Jacob, we kind of different path of everybody else. We actually worked hard, like, on the independent scene. Yeah. Not many people had the opportunity in our family to wrestle independent. And I feel like me, him, Solo, Solo had a little brief moment at independent. And we're just trying to, keep the bloodline going. And, man, my family pushed us hard. Especially Jacob. Jacob always got in some trouble, and he always says it. Wrestling changed his life. It kept him out of trouble, and now look at Zilla, man.
Yeah, he's doing amazing work, too.
Zilla's killing it, man, and he has a whole life story, man, and just family, man. That's all we can count on.
I know originally you didn't want to be a wrestler. You wanted to play baseball when you were younger, back when you were like 17, 18, and then you got into pro wrestling. Why did you never initially want to be a pro wrestler? Because I know there's a few family members that wanted to do football, then someone wanted to do other sports. So, how come wrestling didn't take to you at first? It's like, oh yeah, everyone's doing it, I'll just do it too. Why was it nah, I'll do baseball instead?
Because always growing up, my grandfather was I always attended all his wrestling shows as a kid with my father, and my grandfather always told me, he goes, wrestling will always be there, so follow your dream. I played baseball since I was 5 years old. I played right down the street from where we're at right now, man, my whole life. And, yeah, so I always just thought of wrestling as a plan B, Everybody never wants to think of plan B. They always want to keep shooting for plan A, which was trying to go as far as possible with baseball. And, unfortunately, I had knee problems in my senior year in high school and turned right to my plan B. And thank God, man, it was there, because I'm still almost 14 years later, man, I'm still here going.
Yeah, working in your favor, too. You wrestled in Japan, you wrestled in Australia recently. Even looking now, you said you had the knee injury, so you went to pro wrestling. How's that knee holding up today? Do you still have any, little nagging injuries from that nowadays, or is it all healed up?
Man, them splashes, man, be tough on your knees, especially after 14 years. But now, man, I feel good, especially now, man. I feel better than ever. Knees, I broke my legs, man, broke my nose a few times. Recently, I had rotator cuff surgery. So, yeah, man, we've been put through it all. But, man, just hopefully no wood, but no more injuries, man, because we just want to keep grinding, man. I want to be able to come home every night to my family just the way I left.
Definitely. You said you had that match with Shane McMahon, that you had gotten hurt at some point within the match. When was that moment exactly?
Man, when I wrestled Shane McMahon on Raw, what was that, Memorial Day?
Around then,
yeah, right on 2019. Mm-hmm. Man, when Drew pulled me out, man, and he slammed my back against the corner of the stairs, I ate that whole corner of my back. It just knocked the wind out of me. It was tough to breathe. But, man, it was, a hell of an opportunity, man. You just can't stop. You just got to keep pushing through, and that's what we did our whole life, man, just keep pushing.
I don't know how you're not a walking just cast. All that sounds terrible. The leg's broken. When did you break your leg? I mean, that sounds awful.
I broke my leg probably 2000. My years are all messed up, but it was early on in my career. I wrestled for PWS, which is now WrestlePro, and I did it. I was the opening match, and I did it in the first minute and a half of the match. I did a dive to the outside. Nobody there to catch me. Landed on my leg, snapped my fibula. And then wrestled another 8 minutes with a broken leg.
Oh, my God. How do you – whoa, there's so much to unpack. Did you drive back that night with a broken leg?
So, yeah. So, I actually got in the car, and me and my father had a tag team tournament 2 days later in Florida. So, I drove right to Florida. And then, getting in and out, getting gas, I just started feeling a lot more pain. So, as soon as I got to Orlando – I went to the hospital and then found out my leg was actually broken.
Oh, my gosh.
So they put me in a cast, and unfortunately I wasn't able to wrestle, even though I still tried to. So just kind of enjoyed a vacation while I was down there skipping the lines at Disney with a wheelchair. And
with a broken leg, though. Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. If I stub my toe, I'm out for 6 weeks. So I don't know how you do that. That's something crazy, man. But you wrestle a lot in this Philadelphia, Pennsylvania area. You're in MLW for a period of time. They had a lot of shows in 2300 Arena. I'll be wrestling there during WrestleMania weekend as well for Battleground. How was your time in MLW? Because I know you ended up asking for your release, but even leading up to that, how was your time just working for MLW? Because that is still a major company.
Oh, yeah, man. MLW, I've been there since 2018, even before Jacob got there, man. They always brought me in because before the old MLW my dad was a part of, and my uncle Umaga, they basically tore it up out there with CM Punk, Steve Corino, all of them that were ever wrestling there. So, man, the opportunity they gave me was, man, I wrestled Rich Swann for MLW, MJF. That was early on before I even signed. And then just them giving me the opportunity to offer me a contract to sign, and first major contract in professional wrestling, man, it was a blessing. And I'm forever grateful for MLW. The whole release thing, man, it just came, you know, I went to Japan. They had nothing for me when I got back. And just simple question, man, if I could have my release if nothing's there for me, because especially with my family on top, man, we're trying to keep it going.
Certainly. How do you feel like your relationship with MLW is right now, like with Court Bauer and whatnot? Like, still healthy, or maybe you guys just separate and that's just it?
Right now, honestly, me and Court, we haven't probably even talked since I've been released. I don't think there's much bad blood, because like Court Bauer always says, man, he thanks my family for professional wrestling. Without him, that he wouldn't be in the business. So I believe it was just a mutual agreement, and kind of never had anything to say to one another. But who knows, man? Maybe you might see me pop up there one time again. So, but you just never know, man. I am the only person to be in every single Battle Riot.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that.
And then they just announced a new Battle Riot in Atlanta. So, man, we just got to wait and see. Big things maybe be coming.
Definitely. What was like the thoughts that went through your head when you won the tag team titles with your cousin? Obviously, like obviously that was a huge moment. I was in the arena for it. I thought it was so cool to see. What was your thoughts like when you were like holding this championship? Like, man, I really just won this major title.
Man, we just won the MLW Tag Team Championship. Me and Juicy, and then having my whole family there was just a blessing. Like, man, like when I looked up and heard the crowd, man, it was just an awesome reaction. Just thinking about it, man. Like, I even remember when Juicy passed me the belt, man, I just looked straight at the belt, just enjoy. And then to turn around and see my father, my kids, my fiance, my mom, my sisters, my nieces, man, everybody was just crowding the ring. And, man, it was just a huge blessing. And, like I said, I'm forever grateful for MLW for that opportunity. So, man, we just do it again.
Amazing. You're a father also. Is there any interest in your kids of wanting to get in pro wrestling, or is like, nah, maybe don't? It kind of hurts. I kind of broke my leg and whatnot.
Man, I've been trying to ask my kids which one of y'all want to wrestle, and they both turn me down every time. No, they want to dance, they want to gymnastics, they want to do all this. I said, hey, that's okay. I said, and then I tell my fiance, I said, I was the same way when I was a kid.
You want to do baseball and got into wrestling anyway,
so you never know. And hey, I told her, I said, somebody got to keep the lineage going, become a fourth generation. So
that'd be amazing to see.
We already had one fourth generation, but and man, who would have knew, man? I got two girls, man, 2 fourth generation wrestlers in the whole family.
Tag team champions.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing to see, man. There was a moment also, like we were still in MLW, where you were offered to come in for Tribal Court it was a segment between like Roman Reigns and the whole family whatnot was supposed to be there. How come that didn't materialize? Was it because MLW just didn't want you to, or maybe it's like because you're in MLW, it's like, all right, well, I think I should just stay in this company right now and work for them. Like, what was the situation with not going to Tribal Court? So
the whole thing, a lot of people, like, WWE physically didn't contact me. It was talks between me, my cousins. We play video games, and they're like basically saying that they're trying to get us, me, Jacob, all of us part of it. But the office never physically contacted us, and we just heard from our family. It was a family discussion, like family dinner. But they told us that they're interested in bringing us in, and then everything went south when I contacted WWE to see how true it was or what's the next movement. And then I tried to get permission through MLW for the opportunity because, we are under contract, and they had a lawsuit going against WWE. Yeah. So that's what kind of held us back. Was that lawsuit. They didn't want to go, I guess, whatever. I don't know anything about law. So. But, yeah, that was one of the main reasons why we couldn't do it. And, hey, man, the whole thing got scratched anyways. So who knows for the next opportunity.
That makes sense. Since you have, left MLW, has there been any other opportunities or conversations at least with, the WWE or any other major companies?
At the moment, no. Just trying to keep grinding. Try to talk to TNA, TNA now was Impact, AEW, man, anything, man. Just want that opportunity. That's all I need. Went to Australia, went to Mexico, man. Been to Japan. I'd love to go back to Japan, man. I just love that environment, the atmosphere. Everything was great out there, and I could definitely see myself working long term out there. So who knows, man? You know, still a free agent, and like you said, man, big weeks coming down to Philadelphia. So let's just see that opportunity.
When you're in Japan, you wrestled in the N1. What was like your experience wrestling out there?
Man, the N1 was crazy. You know, you got a lot of the top guys in Noah, Pro Wrestling Noah out there in a tournament, and me just coming over there, never wrestling. I wrestled one Japanese guy before who is now Evil for PWS, and that was the only Japanese guy I ever wrestled. And now just doing a whole tournament with my phone, Google Translate of how to call matches, how to talk to people, like how to maneuver Japan. Just that wrestling style was, man, I have so much respect for Japanese wrestling. The training, man, they're in the gym at 9 a.m. and they don't leave till like 4 in the afternoon, and they're just, the mat is soaked with sweat, and them just, man, like even Anthony Green's out there now, man, he's a tag team champion for Pro Wrestling Noah with Jack Morris, man, and they're just killing it, and man, I'm proud, man, and to have that opportunity, because other than myself, the last family member to tour Japan was probably my uncle Umaga, which was many years ago. And then just to have that, especially because my dad was out there for a while, and just always hearing stories from my father, it was kind of nice to remember his stories and then living it. So it was awesome.
I was going to mention, Umaga was like the last guy in your family to actually tour over there as well. Do you have a story growing up like with Umaga that maybe people don't know about?
Nah, I really don't have no stories of Umaga. You know, I was a young kid. You know, they always travel, like the Usos and all them all grew up with him. I just remember him always coming in with my uncle Matt, Rosie, just always coming in and helping my grandfather with his shows whenever they're in the area. Like I said, family's always everything, and they never forgot where they came from, especially Matt and Yoko, because I remember him coming over as a kid, man, always giving, man, he knocked just randomly on my front door, and then he give me and my sister $20, and man, we were the happiest kids alive. But man, you know, just family was everything, and I think the last time I really saw him was WrestleMania in Miami. Dang, I was a young kid. Or what? It wasn't in Miami. Detroit, when my grandfather got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I think that might have been probably one of the last times I seen him.
Oh, man. You mentioned your grandfather. WXW is having their final show in April, grand finale. What can fans expect on that show? And just like the history overall with WXW, because I feel like in this area a lot of people understand it, but for people that maybe aren't too familiar with the fact that your grandfather does run like an independent company, WXW, what can fans expect out of this show and just the history of the company?
Man, the history of the company, man, especially here in the Lehigh Valley. So my grandfather opened up a school here in the Lehigh Valley. You know, WWE used to run down the street from here at Ag Hall, and that's why my grandfather ended up moving here and opening a school. And for 27 years, he gave the opportunity to kids that travel to Florida, you know, even like Beth Phoenix, she had the opportunity to wrestle here. Mercedes Martinez, she traveled from Connecticut all the time to wrestle for my grandfather. Like, he just opened that door for everybody with open arms, and basically he called everyone his child. He was pops to everyone. Velvet Sky, Batista, Billy Kidman, everybody trained here. Like, and he finally called it quits after 27 years, and April 13th will be his final show down in Florida. It's only 30 minutes right outside of Orlando, not too far from the Performance Center. And, you know, what to expect from there, man, is a lot of history. I already know a lot of guys from up here are traveling. I'll be down there. My father will be there, so just I think my Uncle Alpha Jr. is going. I'm not too sure, but I just know a lot of people are going to be there. A lot of history is going to be. So it's not a very big place, but he wants to go out with one big bang, and I think we're going to give that to him.
I'm about to go down there for that. It sounds very interesting. It sounds like a very historic show. Just given so many people that have like worked with them, and so many people have so much like great things to say. Like I've never heard a bad word said. Like anytime a wrestler mentions like your grandfather on an interview, it's always super positive. And
man, our whole family, man. You hear that about the whole family, man. You know, we're humble, man, and that's one thing that we carry well with us is that we always remember where we came from, and my grandfather taught us all that. So that's what we're gonna show him. We'll all be down there to support him 100%. You know, his health is over everything.
Amazing. What makes Lance Anao'i different from like the other members of his family? Because obviously, talking to you, like obviously I know you're related to Roman Reigns and the Usos and Solo and whatnot. But what makes Lance different from any of those guys?
Man, you know, man, if you asked me this question a long time ago, I'll be the one flying. I'm the one that jumps off the top of the cages. But man, now you got Jacob doing that, man. Man, being different. I don't even know, honestly. That's a good question to think about. And I just feel, like I said, man, the independent, the build with the crowd reaction, I feel like we're more, me, Jacob, Zilla, we're all more personal with the fans compared to Roman, Jay, Jimmy, all of them. I'm trying to not call them by their real names. But yeah, I just feel like we're more interactive with the fans on a personal level, and I think that's what brings the difference out from being in the independents to where they're at the top stage of it all.
Definitely. Yeah, I would totally agree because like I've interviewed yourself, I've interviewed Jacob and Zilla all multiple times, and you guys have always been super nice to me, super kind, always willing to do the interviews and whatnot. I definitely would see that. Even like your wrestling style, I feel like it's very different from like Roman Reigns, who's more of like a powerhouse, and Solo who's more of like a savage, I guess. Yeah,
or Jacob.
Jacob too. Like I feel like you're definitely a mix of like a high flyer, also with like a bulldoze mentality. Like you can definitely run through someone, but also can jump if you need to as well. So
man. You know,
it's cool.
I can still hit a 450 splash at 240 pounds, man. You know, we save it for the big shows, but nah, man. You know, I like the move, man, and you know I always enjoyed watching Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, all them when I was younger, and I just wanted to be just like them. And then even Eddie Guerrero, man, I got asked the question, man, who has the best splash in the family? And I always say, man, I do. Me and Umaga, man, I think we had the two best splashes in our family. So,
who has the best Samoan drop in your family?
Oh, definitely Umaga, and man, Umaga he was just great at everything. And now I'll say Jacob.
Oh, Jacob throws a good one too.
Jacob probably one of the best ones outside of Umaga.
Definitely. As we start to wrap this up, Lance, what are like your big goals right now in wrestling? Obviously, we can say like, you know, go to one of the big stages, WWE, etc. But what's like your personal goals in wrestling? Like, what you really want to get out of like your career so far, and you know, going into the future as well?
Man, one of the main goals, man, is, you know, outside of WWE would be, man, just to keep touring the world. You know, I don't just try to take bookings just to make money and go, man. I want to see the world. Like Australia, man, I went ziplining, held a koala bear, fed kangaroos, man. Would love to go to, you know, the UK. I would love to see more of Mexico, like anywhere, man. You know, spending 3 months in Japan just told me that life is short, man, and enjoy every moment of it. So I just want to continue that, especially this year, 2024, and who knows, man. Like I said, always, the future is bright, man.
Oh, yeah. We're going to throw one more quick question in there.
Yeah.
Who wins, Jimmy or Jay?
It's
a tough one.
It is, man. You know, to me, I want to say Jay, but, you know, I always have to go. I'm going to have to go probably with Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy.
Just because, you know, he got Solo, he got Roman, man, you know. But then again, man, we got a lot of free agents.
That's true, man. Ooh, that's true. There's you, there's Jacob, there's Zilla, etc.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see you, man. I can't imagine in a world where you don't end up, where you, Zilla, Jacob, don't end up in the WWE. I feel like it has to happen at some point. Is that your big goal in wrestling? Obviously, like, you know, outside of maybe just like traveling the world, is it to be in WWE and keep that lineage going?
Oh, yeah, 100%, man. If you're wrestling, man, that's one of your top goals for anybody that's in the business. You want to make it to the top. And to me, WWE is the top. So, yeah, that's the goal. Man, being able to travel with Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Solo. Man, imagine doing that on a daily basis, man. That's just, man, we have family dinners every night, man.
Lance, where can I find you on social media if they're not already following you?
Man, I'm all over Facebook, Instagram, X, whatever you want to call it now. It's at Lance Anao'i. My Twitter is, or my Instagram is Lance_Anao'i. My first one got hacked, so, it's all good, man. But but it's all good, man. I'm all over social media. If you have any questions, man, it's easy to reach me, so.
Of course, Lance, thank you so much for your time, man. I greatly appreciate it. You're the reason this channel's even doing anything. It wasn't for you giving me the first interview, I wouldn't have any of this, so I'm greatly appreciative.
I remember doing that right in where Jaffa, man, right outside the MCW arena, man. It was cold.
It was very cold, yo. That's why I want to make sure we found something inside, because it's also cold outside right now, too. But Lance, thank you so much, man. Guys, my name's Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory, and we're out.
Panicking, heart cold like a mannequin. Got the game in a chokehold like a Anakin. Dark Vader, heartbreaker, real nigga, they faker. Where the Belichick, I'm a playmaker. I'm a money getting ass lord. If you disagree, then they haters. It's like